Broadcasting from Slough. Streaming around the world.
This is Mark Denholm on Atom Radio. Atom Radio. Oh, yeah. Playing the music you want to hear.
The podcast.
AtomRadio.co.uk.
Morning, afternoon or evening, no matter where you are, that's covered that. Welcome to episode 154 of the Best Bits of Atom Radio's Breakfast Show podcast. And this one, the last one before my week off as well. So there will be no podcast next week because I'm having the week off and therefore there'll be no best bits really to dredge through and drag up. So next week you get a complete break from me altogether. There, listen to that, the loud cheer. On the way this week, we talk the marathon and a very, very annoying thing that does appear to happen at the marathon as well. We look at a blast from the past, which may in fact have been needed this week as well. If you were going to space, who would be your journey buddy? What celebrity would you choose to go with you? We talk inappropriate attire as well, based on a school having to issue a request to parents, a rip-off of the beverage nature, and also being a record holder without being a record holder. Morning, 6:17. This is Mark Denholm on atomradio.co.uk. Tune in, Radio Box, Streamer, Smart Speaker, and iTunes Radio, the home of the anthems. Well done to Cissé Lemma, winning the men's London Marathon yesterday. 2 hours, 4 minutes, and a second. You think about how quick that man ran round the course. On a normal day today, with normal day-to-day traffic, he probably ran it quicker than you could drive it.
Mark Denholm on Atom Radio. Atom Radio.
Today, we're asking you about the London Marathon, which took place yesterday, and a massive thumbs up to you if you did run it yesterday, whether you did it in 2 hours, 4 minutes and a second, like the winner, or whether it took you somewhat longer than that. Well done if you achieved your goal and you crossed the finish line yesterday on the London Marathon. Top work to you. One thing I did notice yesterday is there were two things I noticed, right? Number one is the number of people who run it in fancy dress costumes. And number two is the annoyance of the BBC, because they're pulling people over in fancy dress costumes for an interview, which is great. And these people are saying, well, I'm trying to achieve a record. By interviewing them, you are taking time. The time does not stop for the time you're interviewing them. Let them go. I just thought I'd mention that. But my question today, though, is what costume would you run the London Marathon in? If you're applying for 2022 and you could do it in fancy dress costume, what would you run it in? First one this morning is Greg. Greg actually ran the 2017 London Marathon. Greg and a friend ran as a pantomime horse. Now, Greg, what you have not said is, were you up front or were you at the back? Because I'd imagine being at the back would have been quite an unpleasant thing.
Yeah! Mark Denholm. AtomRadio.co.uk.
14 minutes to 7 o'clock. This is Atom Radio on atomradio.co.uk. Tune in, Radio Box, Streamer, Smart Speaker, and iTunes Radio. It's Mark Denholm at breakfast, and happy 6th anniversary today to the single-use plastic carrier bag charge. You know, when you have to pay 5p for a bag, that was first introduced, affecting all supermarkets or large businesses employing 250 or more full-time equivalent employees to charge 5p per single-use carrier bag used by customers. And I remember I had a cupboard absolutely at one stage full of bags. I could have made a fortune by flogging those, couldn't I?
Mark Denholm on Atom Radio.
Facebook, Instagram and WhatsApp all down yesterday. Anybody else tempted to go back and fire up MSN Messenger and see if anyone was still on there and give them a little nudge?
Mark Denholm on Atom Radio. Atom Radio.
This morning I invite your emails, and that sounds posh, doesn't it? What I mean is I'm asking you, William Shatner is about to become the oldest man ever to go to space as he goes up with Jeff Bezos next week, or Jeff Bezos' team anyway next week. And Captain Kirk from Star Trek will finally get to go to space, much as his character did, the big character Captain Kirk that made William Shatner famous. Today I ask, if you could go to space with absolutely anybody, who would your choice be? And this somewhat cheeky email from Neil, I'm going to take issue here, Neil. Neil says, if I could go to anyone with space, I'd like to go with Patrick Stewart, because surely Jean-Luc Picard was better than Captain Kirk. Whoa, Neil. No, absolutely not. Captain Kirk rules okay. Nobody says that anymore, do they? But seriously, William Shatner was amazing as Captain Kirk, and I think that, Star Trek would have been much better if they had not have introduced Jean-Luc Picard and if they'd kept Captain Kirk. See? So me, William Shatner all the way. On air at atomradio.co.uk is my email address if you would like to get in touch this morning. I am asking you, if you could go to space with anyone, who would it be? I'm going to say, if I had the choice between William Shatner or Patrick Stewart, I'm sure Patrick Stewart is a lovely man, but the choice for me would be William Shatner. Amazing actor. That would be my choice out of those two.
Mark Denham on Atom Radio.
Atom Radio online, on mobile, on smart speaker. It's 8:25. It is Mark Denham at breakfast on a Tuesday. Today, I ask if you could go to space with any celebrity, who would it be, as William Shatner prepares to become the oldest man ever to go to space? Morning, Tammy. Tammy says, I'd love to go with Liam Neeson. Just that voice and that accent. Imagine being trapped in a spacecraft with Liam Neeson for the whole length of the flight, and you just get to hear Liam Neeson speak. If we're going on voices you'd like to listen to, I would go for GB, the YouTuber. She seems a very nice lady on YouTube. She does ASMR, and she has an amazing ASMR voice. So yeah, if we are going on voices that you'd like to listen to while you're up there, you see, if we're going on Star Trek captains, for me it's Captain Kirk. If we're going on voices you'd like to listen to, then it's GB. On air at atomradio.co.uk. Who is it for you? If you could go to space with any celebrity, who would your chosen one be?
Mark Denham.
Morning. Atom Radio online, on mobile, on smart speaker, banging out anthems and playing the music you want to hear. How would you rate yourself? If you rate yourself as top 5, that means you're obviously 4th or 5th. Otherwise, you'd rate yourself as top 3. Think about that this morning if you are doing something that involves rating yourself.
Mark Denham on Atom Radio. Atom Radio.
And moving swiftly along to the school run, which you'll be doing in an hour's time, if you are parents of school-aged children. But Aylesmore Primary School has asked parents to get dressed before doing the school run, following their noticing of an increase in people arriving to drop off in gowns, pyjamas and slippers. The head teacher posted the polite reminder on Facebook, saying that parents should wear appropriate clothing when accompanying their children to and from school. I'm hoping by the time they go and collect them, they have actually managed to get dressed. Otherwise, that would be remarkable bone idleness. My question, therefore, to you would be, when has been the most inappropriate time you have ever seen anyone in pyjamas? On air at atomradio.co.uk. I've seen a few. I'm not going to share them because I'll let you have your say. We're on the email, on air at atomradio.co.uk, following this polite request from the school, the Aylesmore Primary School. When has been the most inappropriate time you have seen anyone dressed in PJs?
Mark Denham on Atom Radio.
Well, I don't own a pair of pyjamas, so I could never ever do any form of school run or going out or anything in pyjamas, because I don't actually own a single pair of pyjamas. But anyway, I ask you today, what is the most inappropriate time or place that you have ever seen anyone wearing pyjamas? Mick says it's not really unreasonable being a delivery driver, but if I'm doing early deliveries, I do often get a lot of doors answered by people still in pyjamas, some of which are more inappropriate than others. Fair play, Mick. I never realised that actually your job probably does, if I'm honest, come with a health warning as well. Morning, Michelle. How are you? I'm going to cough in a minute. I just know it. Morning, Michelle. I hope you are well. Michelle says, I saw a husband and wife in their dressing gowns at a cash point once. No idea how far they'd gone to get to this cash point, but there they were, both withdrawing cash separately. in their pyjamas, their dressing gowns. On air at atomradio.co.uk, where is the most inappropriate place you have ever seen anybody wearing pyjamas?
Mark Denham on Atom Radio. Atom Radio.
This I absolutely love. Greg says, I am a driving teacher and I had a 17-year-old young lady who was probably on a second or third lesson at the time, and we'd booked an 8 o'clock lesson. And I got there, knocked the door, no answer. Knocked the door again, no answer. Rung her, only to wake her up. She said, oh, don't worry, I'll be there in 5 minutes. She came out in her dressing gown, her pyjamas and her slippers. I did have to send her back in and say, you cannot drive in your slippers. There wasn't really much I could do about the rest of it, but she did the driving lesson, therefore, in her pyjamas, her dressing gown and her trainers. Wow. If you got stuck in traffic, I guess she was perfectly dressed though, wasn't she, to go and have a nap somewhere. I'm all right. I'm just having a little power nap.
Mark Denham.
Atom Radio, online, on mobile, on smart speaker. Morning and welcome to Thursday. This is Mark Denham at breakfast. It's 16 minutes to 10 o'clock. Today is, as I mentioned, National Frappe Day, right? And there are so many different types of coffee now. I mean, like, if you have a cup of tea, I know there's lemon tea and Earl Grey and all those posh flavoured teas, which I can't be doing with. Just an ordinary cup of tea is absolutely fine for me. But whoever thought, like, in terms of coffee, I don't know which one's which. I know there's a one which is mostly milk with a shot of coffee, so you're basically having coffee flavoured hot milk, and I can't remember if that's the frappe or the cappuccino because I don't drink the stuff. But then who decided all these different things? Who all of a sudden thought, wait a minute, like just making some coffee, that's a bit boring. Let's instead just flavour some milk. I mean, you've got, off the top of my head, you've got a frappe, you've got a cappuccino, flat white, Americano. Is there actually a difference between any of these coffees, or is it just an excuse for high street coffee shops to charge you £2.50 for a scoop of coffee, some hot water and some milk?
Mark Denham on Atom Radio.
Today we're talking about people who may very well be full of enough hot air that we could save on energy, with wholesale gas prices jumping 37% just yesterday. We're looking at that today. And then funnily, playing into my hands on that, given the first two that came in the last hour were both politicians. Sir Peter Bottomley, father of the House of Commons as the longest-serving MP, has said it's desperately difficult to live on £81,932, the annual average salary of an MP. Now, last year, the average salary in the UK was £31,461. That in itself is distorted by the number of people getting up in the millions. That's nowhere near a real reflection of what the average person in the UK earns. It's just a distorted figure. But this MP has then said it's desperately difficult to live on £81,932, according to our emails earlier from Kate and from Ray. If you were to invite Nigel Farage round and Donald Trump, that could save on your heating costs in your house, because apparently, according to Kate and Ray, they are both full of hot air and could easily warm your house. On air at atomradio.co.uk. Today I ask, with wholesale gas prices rising 37% yesterday, which celebrity do you think will be full of enough hot air and waste gas that they could heat the country and therefore bring about a saving in energy? On air at atomradio.co.uk to get involved.
Mark Denham.
I've become cross. And do you know why I've become cross? Today we're talking about Finley, the golden retriever, who is now a Guinness World Record holder, having fitted 6 tennis balls, normal-sized tennis balls, inside his mouth. And well done to you, Finley. I was saying earlier I could possibly get the Guinness World Record for the longest continuous Steve, but then all of a sudden it's just come to me right now that technically I could have been a Guinness World Record holder as part of something. At Slough Ice Arena, we did an attempt at the world record for the longest conga on ice, all right? And we had everything set up. We had counters and we had the official music. We had 2 people filming the event because those films then had to be sent off and be independently verified. So we had absolutely everything we needed. And I remember getting this all set up and we were 2 people short. So I basically bullied 2 people into taking part to break the world record, right? There were 2 people who just sat there, had no interest in it, basically persuaded, should we say, these 2 people to take part. And that was it. We then had a world record. We beaten the previous world record. Did we ever get this world record? No, we didn't, because the receptionist who thought she was the general manager couldn't be bothered to send it all off to the Guinness World Records, and we didn't get it. And that somewhat annoyed me now that I've just come to think about that. Finley, the golden retriever, I bet his owners didn't stuff that up for him, did they? Hey, they did not. atomradio.co.uk. Stirring up memories, that was yesterday on the old record thing. That was years and years and years ago, and I know that record has now been beaten. Not that it was ever officially recorded as a record. It has now been beaten, so it is all fairly irrelevant. But at the time, I remember being very, very angry because I kept asking, when do we get confirmation of our record? When do we get confirmation of our record? And only then did someone else tell me that it had never actually been sent off. So no matter the fact that we did have more people doing a conga on ice than the official world record at the time, which had not been beaten, we then went on to beat it by 2 and, well, never ever got a record. Quite annoying that, but there you go. Anyway, I don't want to end on a low because I've got next week off. I want to say thank you, by the way, if you've been involved in the show at all, Monday to Friday, this week or any given week as well. Thank you so much as well. Without you, the show would not be as it is. And if you are a subscriber on the podcast or indeed a listener on the podcast, thank you so much indeed. And cheers so much for your ears.
Atom Radio. Playing the music you want to hear.
Right, Monday the 18th then. Mark Denholm at breakfast back on atomradio.co.uk. Tune in, Radio Box, Streamer, Smart Speaker and iTunes Radio. I do hope your ears enjoy the rest from my voice.